Hello everyone, welcome back to your favorite channel, Limitless Voices with Namono. I'm your host, Susan Namono. Remember, we are talking about gender stereotypes. These are generalized assumptions of how girls and boys should behave. And today I have someone special with me, a friend. She's here to share with us her story and experience with gender stereotypes. Let me give her the opportunity and let's dive straight into it. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. My name is Solome. I'm a very good friend to Susan.
Yay!
And what else should I say about you?
Tell us, are you married or are you single? Can you
I
be
am married.
sad?
I am married. I've been
Yes.
married for 3 and maybe some months, yes.
Yes.
I have a son, a wonderful boy. He's 1 year and 1 month. It's called Dante. Very cute, active. Yes. And I love working. I work with young people. Just like Sue, but in a different way. I'm also very similar.
So that's my amazing guest, one of my good friends who is joining me today. And remember, we said we are continuing to talk about gender stereotypes. And I would like to hear from her. Solome, what has been your experience with these gender stereotypes? Maybe let's go back from when you were still a child.
Yes, I come from the northern Uganda, a Choli tribe, and there, women and girls, boys and girls are raised in a very different way. Women are raised to be humble, learn how to do work, not doing very active work, shouldn't climb trees. But for me, growing up, those are things I wanted.
Okay.
And I remember when I was in P2, and in a school called St. Joseph Primary, I wanted to play football. And I wondered why I couldn't play football. And I remember saying, why can't I not play football? And I remember one of our teachers saying, girls do not play football because it's a boys' game. And that was unfair. And for me, it made me sad because I kept on seeing how in our household, my dad would only allow my sisters in the kitchen. Our brothers weren't allowed to wash dishes. They could just, so it was unfair to me. I wondered why, but we will dig deep into it. But later on I experienced something else and it opened my eyes.
Wow. I'm here just imagining you wanting to play, putting out that energy and just doing a sport that you love and you are not given the opportunity to explore in that area. How did that make you feel, if you could remember? What were some of your feelings as a child at that level?
I thought it was so unfair because I thought everyone deserves a fair chance. And I felt like I had more energy than even some of my brothers. So I wondered why. And I think I've always been a very active person. I like energetic sports.
I can attest to
Yes,
that.
very true. So for me it was unfairness and the why. Why is that like not okay? So yeah, at least that's what I remember. Yeah.
I remember, I don't know how that game is called, but I think you needed to have like these little things that come from these plants that we use for fencing. Not so that was dulu. I don't know how that is called in English. I used to love playing that game when I was still a child. I remember my mom telling me, that is a game for boys, but I really wanted to play it, but she's like, no, that's not a game for girls to play. And I can really relate and understand what you're talking about. So in your experience, do you think that has influenced some of the person you are today in a way, or did it ever change? Did you experience something different? Like, how has it shaped you as how you are currently?
It has shaped me in a different way, but for me, I got to experience a different type of life. When my parents died when I was 7 years, I got to move to another place, Ginger, and I lived in an orphanage. And the Westerners, the Americans who ran the orphanage, were very you didn't have that stereotype thing. If you wanted to play football, you could play. Any sports, it was like anyone can do anything. You don't have to be a boy. So for me, I experienced that, and I've enjoyed it. Actually, I look back, I feel like my childhood.
That's
After
why
when
I
I was
see you
7,
playing basketball.
I just played so much
Yeah.
because it was like open gate. But I feel like the cultural stereotypes, like even when I kept on going back home for Christmas, I saw my uncles treated my aunties or relatives or women treated in the culture. I do understand that there are some roles that it's true, men should play, but if there's some that I think it's for everyone. So I know this is funny, but I told myself growing up that I would not marry a naturally woman. Sorry.
And check where we are.
Yeah, and the reason why I did that was because of the culture norms around it. Women can't do this. I was afraid that if I married a naturally woman, I wouldn't be able to do certain things. The man wouldn't be able to help me in certain things. And then even when I said my current husband, when we were dating like 3 years back, when it got serious, I found myself questioning. Is it a man? Do I actually want to marry an actually man?
Yeah. Or are you ready for the work that comes with it?
And I actually told him this. He knows, so it's not secret. But I realized that he was different. He wasn't what we call the local culture man who could even pick up a child, or if I'm sick, he can't help. Just that modern stuff. So knowing that he was open-minded, that if I had a daughter or a boy, that he would treat them fair, they could play sports, even would teach our boys how to cook. Because it's just a skill. Because actually, have kids that are male.
And
so for me,
so
for me, that was a win for me, and really, I got to marry a gentleman. Until today.
They tell us never say never.
But you can see how just when I was young, those different effects
really affected you.
Yeah, that even after all that time, 20 years later, my mind is still going back and saying, like, do I really want to go down?
For this? You mentioned the different gender norms that really scared you to almost say no to the man. And I'm just curious, what are some of those that you can point out for us, for someone who is the other side of the screen, to know, like, what are some of those cultural norms that really scared you and you're like, am I really ready for this as a woman?
Or maybe you can dig deep later in another episode and talk about actual culture. But to me, in my experience, in my culture, men are gods where I come from. Yes. Literally, when a woman is married into a family, in a sense, it's like she's going to work. Which in a way is okay, but I feel like the culture takes it too far. And then you do all domestic work. A typical local man would just sit. So you go to the garden, let's say you go to the garden, you come back, you just sit. You do all the work, take care of the child, do this, and they never actually pick up. Actually, I had an experience where already married, one time in the village, and I washed clothes, and my husband helped me
to pick up from that way.
Actually, hands us. And I remember someone coming to me and saying, "Hey, that's not right. You know, a man shouldn't do that. You're making him look less of a man. That's a man's job." And it hit me like, wow. Those are still very strong within the culture. They have their reasons. I'm not against culture. I think culture is beautiful.
Sure it is.
But there are some things about culture that makes me question where did this come from? Why do people embrace it?
Benefiting from it.
And most of them benefit men, actually.
True.
Yes. So those are some of the things.
All right. It's really getting interesting. I'm enjoying going to the other side. You know, I'm also a natural in a way.
Yes, very true.
I remember one time I was asked if you are not Amugishu, which other tribe would you like to be? I said naturally, because they are hardworking. But I also love the unity that they exhibit in most places where they are. And then I have a naturally friend. So really, that's why I'm telling you I'm a naturally in a way. So we are not saying culture is bad. We are trying to talk about some of those things that really cage women from achieving their dreams. from spreading their wings, because if these gender stereotypes are still there, in a way it restricts us to be who we are, like to be our authentic selves. And I'm here just thinking, I'm like, oh, now if you had not said yes to this lovely husband of yours that I know and how he has been supportive to you, it would be a different story. So we are not saying it's bad, but we are saying how can we break some of those barriers? How can we pave the way for other young ladies who are out there? And don't go away, we are still dissecting this. Would like to hear from my dear friend right here. Are there any other places where you have experienced these gender stereotypes? You're a working class lady, you're a mother, and you're holding a job. Like, have you seen stereotypes show up at the workplace? Maybe you can share with us your experience, how it has been.
Yeah, I have. My current job, not so much, because it's a Christian organization. Of course, there are small things there and there, but I wouldn't say it's a very big place. But I do remember in the former workplace I've been, men did last at that workplace.
Yeah.
And the place was full of women.
Yes.
And men did last. What can I say?
Yeah.
It's women. How can I say this?
Was it that the job favored the ladies, or the men felt like
the conditions.
The conditions.
The conditions that were laid by the organization didn't allow men to be themselves or speak up. And because women are majority of women.
Yeah.
I mean, if I say all women, majority of women. A good number of women are more humble, more receptive.
But also we are going to be submissive.
Yes, so if someone shouts at you, you'll be like, I want to make a joke.
This is my boss.
Exactly, you'll be humble. But majority of men don't do that. And so I saw that a lot. Even I've seen when I drive to work.
Yeah. Sometimes
when somebody sees that it's a woman driving, they're very rude. Like the way they're like, get out of the way. Like, I'm like, what? And yes, I've experienced that. Like when they find out, like sometimes, like if you're a little slow, and I've experienced that with taxis. Of course, they're speeding out too. And then when they pass you, they want to look out the window
to see who is there.
Who's that? And when it's a woman, they're like, what's the problem with that?
Yeah.
But so I've also experienced that. But also I do know that there are workplaces where they'll pay men more money than women, even if the woman's working harder and she is on top and she's smarter and bringing more money in. Sure. For me, working in the current place I work in, honestly, it's most of the top positions are women. And it's not, I do not know how a woman feel.
Maybe it would be an opportunity for us to speak to them and hear their perspective.
But for me, there's a lot of balance because of how the organization is run and the leaders we have. There is a lot of servant leadership. So, yes.
You talked about that car issue and the taxis. One time I was in a taxi, so the lady slightly slowed down and the taxi said, it was a lady. And I'm like, oh my, it doesn't have to be. And there is also this perception that it's the ladies who drive the smaller cars. So if it's a bigger car, someone is like, shocked. Oh, she drives my husband's car. So these are some of the things we need to make normal. Like, it's okay for a baby to have that. It doesn't have to be that she's slow. A guy can be slow too. So that is why we are having this space, so that we can just have these conversations that are honest and raw for us to learn, but also to hear from you. Have you ever had these experiences before? Are they influencing your life in a certain way? That's why we are really having this. So, my friend, you've been married for 3 years, right?
Yes.
How has it been? Have you at any one point seen this happen in your marriage? Are there any struggles you've had, maybe where he feels you're a working class woman, and there is this thing sometimes men thinking, oh, she might earn more money than I do, and like that insecurity, like walk us through that.
Okay. So honestly, I haven't experienced that.
Yeah.
It's because I'm married to a very loving man. He's exposed. He's a Christian. He understands. I've never felt like if I make more money, it would be a problem. He actually does pays most of the bills. He spends more than me, and so I haven't experienced that. But yes, I've heard of other people experiencing. So for me, it's a blessing to experience this. Having someone who takes care of you, and provides. Even there's so every household has a way they do their bills. I also, for me, one of the things I saw before I got married, there are some people who say the woman's money is her command.
And
then the man is dying with all the bills.
Everything.
I don't believe in that. I do believe that there's partnership.
Yeah, true.
But you support him, you there for him. Yes.
Him.
So yes, I cover some bills at home.
Wow.
But surprisingly, when I'm not, he actually covers them. Sometimes I'm like, oh, you did that. Yeah, so I've just experienced good, and I pray that continues like that. So, hey, if you're anything, you're worried, oh, I can't marry this tribe. Know the person. Don't stereotype like all these tribes. Oh, I forgot to tell you something about growing up. So, when we moved to Ginger to the orphanage, and I moved in after some years, I kept on hearing people say, oh, there's no Northerners are awesome, they're very rude, and yes, at that time there was the civil war happening up in the north. So it started making me wonder. When I'm back at home, people are very kind.
Yeah.
To hear other tribes like Basogas, Bagandas, the Westerners here say that, it hit me. I think it bothered me a lot. And then I realized as I grew older that we weren't the only one being stereotyped. Like I knew even the soldiers were disrespected, even the Chigas, all that. Actually, all tribes.
True.
Yeah, and that is not really true. I think yes, there are few people who could be,
but
not the whole population. Like sometimes it's easy when you meet a few, maybe 10 actually who are very rude,
and then you generalize
all of them.
This is who they are.
And that's not true.
Yeah.
So, but I also understand that different environments and different cultural expectations make people brave, be able to stand up. And I had a geography teacher who make you laugh. One time he was talking about how different weathers affect how people act. And for me, I believe it. He spoke about culture and behavior. He said people live in extreme temperatures. Let's say like the Bachigas in the West. It's very cold, so they can easily be irritated. So they come out tough and rude. The same with the Northerners. It's a hot environment. Imagine when it's very hot and hungry and someone is bothering. How are you going to react?
Because first of all, even you're frowning because it's hot. Someone adds that onto you.
But the central people, because the temperature is calm, it's like it's moderate here. That's why Ugandas seem to be like, hello, what, calm,
hospitable.
Yeah, and for me, to a certain extent, I do believe that. So yes, I also experienced
Alright, I'm just thinking about it and I'm like, okay, in Bali, these days it's not so extreme cold, but growing up it was extremely very cold, and I'm wondering, okay, so that's why you say that people from the extreme temperatures,
like if it's very cold,
very cold, we are easily
irritated.
I need to go deeper into that and see if it's affecting me in a way. So thank you so much for sharing those experiences with us. So as we get closer to winding up, what do you think? Because these stereotypes still exist. We are unconsciously pushing for them. I remember one of my nephews at home and said, be a man. I found myself saying it. And remember, I'm the one saying we should break gender stereotypes. What do you think we can do to make sure that we are challenging them? Maybe to someone who is out there who is also pushing the agenda unconsciously. What can we do to make sure that we continue breaking these barriers so that we can pave the way? I keep talking about young girls, but also the boy child is there. They are also stereotyped in a specific way. I think we can have another day to just explore that. So what do you think we can really do to pave the way for them, but also just to reduce on these gender stereotypes?
I do believe for you to make any change, it starts with you.
Exactly.
You, the person, where you at.
Yes.
For example, for me, it starts at home. Now I have a son.
Yes.
I want to raise him better. Like, for him to know that chores are all done by everyone.
Yeah.
For him not to just sit on TV as his future sisters.
And busy in the kitchen.
And busy in the kitchen, or for him not to do certain things. Yeah. So I do believe it starts with us and being able to make those big decisions. Even like in the culture where, like, I think even for young men, like I've seen my husband, there's some things that at home, nothing really specific, but I've seen him say no to that, no, this, my wife is this. So those little changes, you're able to stand up. Makes the difference. But for me, even in a school, because I work in a school, to treat both girls and boys fair. For example, violence.
Yes.
So actually, do you know that in our minds, in our cultures, if a man hits a woman, it's like, what? That is so bad. But if a woman hit a man, there is always an excuse, like, oh,
why didn't he be a man?
Yeah. He could have done something. That's why. So for us to treat that fairness and also give boys an opportunity also to grow. Another thing I've noticed is I feel like our culture, my culture, we are raised. I don't know about other people, but I'm assuming it's the same. That women are raised in a certain way, as men are left to be wild.
Exactly.
You know, like even when you get married, you're like, it's you to make sure this, be forgiving.
Even the marriage advice is for that.
Yeah, most of them.
I'm looking forward when we also have, you see how, like, as ladies, when you're getting married, the same guy is busy taking you through, like,
even the man.
If the man would also have an uncle, just initiating them and also guiding them through the process of this is what you should expect. This is because women come fully prepared, all talk to, and the man does not even know anything because there is no one actually who has taken that initiative to talk to him. So very, very true. I think it all starts with how we are raising our children, how we are consciously deciding to change those small things, even as easy as, like, you're a boy, don't cry. Just changing and saying, hey, it's okay, what has happened, what has hurt you, because they have feelings. And we are having a poem that we are going to have this Friday, and I'm really looking forward because it really talks about these gender stereotypes. As we were sharing, you said for men it's okay, Rome, build, for you a girl, cook, like that is how we are being raised, but it's upon you and me to really change this trajectory. We have that power. If you want change to happen, remember it really starts with you. Solome, what is your last word that you would like to leave with our viewers?
Well, like I said, start small. Change starts with you.
Yes.
And starts with a shift in the mindset.
Exactly.
And you have to be willing to see the other way. My only thing is, sometimes when you talk about this change, people think it's a Western idea. And it's not. It's God's way. And it's okay for us to look at a different way how things have been done. So for me, start where you're at. Start with the small things. Yeah, and change will eventually come.
Exactly. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
making the time to join me today as we continue on this journey of making sure we are blurring these gender stereotypes. It's a long journey, but if you join us onto this, it's going to really be easy. So remember, change starts with you, and if you really like this content, consider going down and subscribing, and let's keep growing this journey and this network. Remember, if you've also been through similar experiences, feel free to let us know in the comment section. How has it been? What are some of the things that you have done that have helped you to break those gender stereotypes? From me, your lovely host, thank you so much for joining us today. See you for another episode. Bye-bye.